Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends, and welcome into the Eric St. Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Each and every day in the Impact Power Sports Studio, Impact Power Sports. Online at impactpowersportsmi.com. You can find them there. You can visit them in Rockford, Michigan. And holy cow, they have an unbelievable selection of Yamaha golf carts for you. You can win a Yamaha golf cart at the next big Lions watch party at Gun Lake Casino. Not this weekend because the Lions are taking the week off, but next weekend. For the big Lions game, you can sign up to win the Detroit Lions Yamaha golf cart signed by David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Lomas Brown. And you can hang out with my pals at GRD. They are there. Steve's going to be there, I believe. I don't know. Steve, one of them. One of the crew is there for the big broadcast remote. So you can rub elbows with the legends of GRD. A lot of people are wondering where I was. Why so late today? It's not typically, usually it's a handful of minutes after 10, but not this late. It's because I was paying close attention to the indictments being described and handed down by federal authorities in what is being described as the biggest gambling organized crime crackdown in the history of everything. And a ton of people have been arrested this morning in the NBA, including Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncy Billups. Say it ain't so, Chauncy Billups. What? And I was just watching some of the live press conference, and you have an army of federal agents at the local level for the FBI and various states' district attorneys, along with Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, and various field offices from 11 states about this enormous gambling probe involving Chauncy Billups and a handful of other players, Terry Rozier, and just to name a couple, and several other current and former players, as well as organized crime. Several of the 5 families in New York. I was going to pick this up right now.
Leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash. As the NBA season tips off, his career is already benched, not for injury, but for integrity. As a result of this investigation, 6 defendants, including Rozier, are now facing conspiracy to commit bank and wire fraud. In a second case, Operation Zen Diagram, investigators uncovered a long-running scheme in which members and associates of several well-known organized crime families rigged high-stakes poker games across the country. These operatives included capos and multiple soldiers from the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese crime families, bringing 4 of the 5 families together in a single indictment is extraordinarily rare. It reflects how deep and how far this investigation reached and the skill and the persistence it took to get here. That work uncovered a deliberate, technologically sophisticated operation designed to carry out their crimes. They used custom shuffling machines that could read the order of cards, barcoded decks, and hidden cameras built into tables and light fixtures. The organizers also enlisted well-known public figures, former and current NBA players and coaches, including Chauncy Billups, the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, an NBA champion, and a Hall of Famer to make the games appear legitimate. Victims believed that they were sitting at a fair table. Instead, they were cheated out of millions. One victim in particular lost $1.8 million. In total, losses exceeded $7 million and continue to climb. And when people refused to pay, these defendants did what organized crime has always done. They used threats, they used intimidation, and they used violence. It's the same pattern that we have seen for decades. Traditional mob enforcement methods combined with new technology to expand the reach of their operations. Now, with the unsealing of today's indictment, 34 individuals are facing charges, including robbery, extortion, money laundering, wire fraud, bank fraud, and illegal gambling. I want to commend the outstanding work of our detectives from the Joint Organized Crime Task Force and their dedication to these cases, especially Captain Ruben Pagan, Sergeant Chris McGuire, Detective Alexander Creamer, Detective James McCullough, and of course our Chief of Detectives, Chief Kenny. As part of these investigations, our members recovered and reviewed thousands of hours of video conducted.
This is not the first person to speak here. There's Patel. There was a number of other people. Piano Fingerbanger says this is so much lamer than I thought it was going to be. No, it's not. This is remarkable. I can't believe you guys think that this is not a big deal. So the way they worked it out was you'd have a poker game and they would promote it. Yeah, hey, you can play. Hey, come on and play poker with Chauncy Billups, NBA Hall of Famer. And so you get there at the table, and as I understand it, every single member of this table is in on the scam. So as it goes, this shuffling machine tells somehow who's getting what cards. Not to mention, they have an X-ray machine to actually, if the cards are on the table, they can see what the cards are from whatever device is doing this. So the one at the table who's going to lose a lot of money is just one guy. Say there's 8 guys there, one of them's going to lose money. But it's all a gag, and nobody knows it except for it, and everybody knows it except for the one guy. Not to mention, where you keep your poker chips, they have cameras in the trays that your poker chips are held. So if you're holding your cards, so there's all sorts of different ways that they can determine who has the best hand. Not to mention, there's cameras in the light fixtures as they're doing all this surveillance, and there's a guy that's off-site with several people who's actually monitoring all these systems. And in an instant, they're able to determine who at the table has the best hand. So with that information, it's then relayed to all the other members at the table, or at least one member at the table, who can then, through a hand gesture or something like that, can point to who has the best hand. From there, they then play the game. And it might be, if the guy who's going to lose all the money has the best hand, everybody just throws their chips in and, take a not so big loss. Let's say the guy's hanging out and bluffing, all right, and he gets caught up in the final bit of gambling. All of a sudden, he puts in a lot of money, thinking he's going to bluff his way out of it. He has no chance because they know that his cards aren't shit. Oh, God. So these arrests were all made this morning. This all just happened. Megan tipped me off on it, and I've been getting texts from everybody about this thing, that Chauncy Billups, an NBA Hall of Famer, former world champion, current head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, is involved in this. Not to mention, you heard that chick talking about the over-under thing, how many minutes someone's going to play or whatever. It should be no secret or surprise that when gambling is as pervasive as it is, every time you turn around, they're promoting gambling, that this was bound to happen. Now, I don't know if this is all related to it. The poker game certainly doesn't really have to do with like a gambling app or anything like that. But to have all these players that they all were rounded up at one time. All right, let's go in and arrest. from across 11 states. So this is, you're seeing the ending of several careers just like that. And now the rest of their careers are going to be fighting off charges to keep themselves from going to prison for a long time. Man Bun Chris says the NBA worries about the optics, but they have every sports book ad as a sponsor. Yeah, but at the same time, it's pretty well known that it's okay for the general public to gamble on sports. But not only are these guys doing illegal activities when it comes to the integrity of the game, but the fact that they're involved with organized crime. 4 of the 5 families in New York City. Wow. Piano Finger Banger says, hold, this wasn't about gambling on games, just poker. No, it's much more than that. The poker is just one element. There's like several indictments, and they all came to a head at about the same time. And this is all one big giant thing where all these different organizations, crime-fighting organizations, are working together, and all the arrests are happening at one time. So there's a lot more to it. So it could be poker games. It could be point shaving based on NBA games. Again, this is unfolding as we speak, and that's why I was late. I haven't been able to get all of the information that this is on. Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat. It's I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, as the show was getting started, I was watching the press conference trying to get as much information as I could. So the timing of this is all very strange.
Extensive surveillance on illegal gambling locations, the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yeah, I wish I could break it all down for you, but this is a huge story. They're saying the biggest criminal indictment that has ever been handed down when it comes down to sports gambling charges. This makes, point shaving schemes associated with the mafia as nothing. They're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars changing hands in a fraudulent effort, money laundering, all the usual things that you expect to see involved with organized crime. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, too many in on it. They were never going to get away with it. Megan says, I have a hard time getting card game rules down. I could never. Oh, I'm totally with you on that. The thing about card games is, like, when you're playing Texas Hold'em, which I couldn't with any degree of certainty describe to you how that game works, even though I've been in a couple poker tournaments. But I usually sit down and I say, yeah, okay, so just so you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I want to get out ahead of this. Don't get pissed off at me. You're going to take all my money, but I'm just here to have fun. So nobody lose their patience with me, and I'm going to talk to the dealer, try to get tips on how to do this shit, but don't do it. I'm not going to put up with that shit. All right? So then I basically just lose. I talked about this not that long ago, the radio station poker tournament up north. And then I get bored, after I win a couple hands and then lose a lot of hands. Then this sucks. I do not want to be here. Okay. I've got a pack of Newports in my pocket and they need to be smoked. God damn it. And then, so I said to the dealer, I go, so what do I do? Well, whatever you get, just put all in. So I get like a 2 and a 3, like the shittiest cards in the deck. And I go all in. And then I fold. All in. And I fold. They all kind of look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, look, I don't want you fucking degenerates. Fuck you. My God. Man Bun Chris says I have ADHD, so I just zone out whenever someone explains card games to me. Oh, so the same way. My wife tried to explain cribbage to me. And I'm like, you are out of your mind if you think I'm going to get this. My kids got me that game. I guess it's a board game, maybe a board/role-playing game, strategy game, and it's called Pandemic. And I thought, I'm gonna get into this game. I take the lid off. I start reading, and I'm like, this is terrible. This is the worst. In fact, I still have it. If anybody wants this game, I think the game's like $40. All I've done is take the wrap off, open up the box, take out the instructions, read the instructions, folded it back up, put the lid back on, and put it on a shelf. And that was 5 years ago. If anybody wants the game Pandemic, I will sign it and send it to you. First one to take it says it's mine, then it's yours. You can have the fucking thing. I do not have the brain power to be able to handle anything like that. Topher says, I have that problem with most things. Zoning out. Yeah. Chris says, speaking of the radio station up north, get your tier 2 Patreon subscriptions to see EZ's new commercial. Becca Shea says, I love cribbage. Man Bun Chris, can the dude who got hustled at those poker tables with Chauncy get anything back or no? How's that work? Anyone know? Who knows? I don't know. I don't even think that they were like legit poker games. In fact, I know they weren't. They were like backroom poker games. Chris from Buffalo, I thought I was the only one who hated card games. By the way, yesterday on the Patreon, Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, the live stream Zoom, Chris in Buffalo joined us from the road. There was a lot of rain falling in the community. And he was out, and I'll keep your secret safe here, Chris. He was out. He was called in because there was a sewage emergency. This is what he does for a living. He makes sure that these people have appropriately behaving sewage systems. He might be the most important man in the community. Think about that. If you live in a community where if the weather turns, there's potential for feces to run through the street, and you have a guy who can alleviate that problem, how is that not a job that pays you like $500,000 a year? That, to me, is as important to the infrastructure as having a solid medical community. Like, you should put that on if you have a that type of setup for your sewage treatment and disposal. You should have that on the sign when you enter whatever the name of the community you live in. This is a so-and-so sewage-free community. Something you can tout. Rebecca says, I do not have the attention span to sit through one poker game, let alone an entire tournament. Tyler hates euchre. Actually, I like euchre. Euchre I can handle. The game's fast enough. Provided you're with the right people. You can't play with people who do like table talk and take too long to decide what they're going to do because it's sending a message. You get yelled at. You know, a lot of these Polish communities around here, you'll just get punched in the face if you don't have the proper etiquette when you're playing euchre. Tyler says the game Pandemic can be the prize for whoever wins the pinball tournament on November 8th. Perfect idea. Perfect. Aram says, with that review of Pandemic, I am guessing people will jump at the chance. /S. Good job there with that. Well, actually, if you paid attention to the story, it's a great game, but I just don't do well with those. It is a world-renowned game, from what I'm understanding. I just can't play it. Chris is described as a superhero. Then Chris disappeared. Glad he's here and not floating down the sewer of caca. Nick in the arena says, that's great job security for sewage guy. Everyone shits. Chris says, I tried to bring the live stream into the pump station, but the service there sucked. And you were successful, no doubt. Branjo says, speaking of poo, last week I found out someone who was on staff at my church was on the Dave Matthews poo-poo bus boat mishap. I felt like I knew a celebrity. Well, you got to get me a contact for that person. I would love to talk to that person. And Rebecca says, this needs to be an easy phone call. Make that happen, Branjo. The thing that gets me that I wasn't aware of on the Dave Matthews incident, which, in case you're not aware, these bridges and... Hey, it's your old pal Eric Zane for Secret Nature, makers of ultra premium CBD gummies. And I'm going to tell you how you can take advantage of a special offer to save you 30% in a minute. But let me share this with you. You know that I've got about 1 million things going during any given day. And I just recently discovered Secret Nature to help me keep it all together during the day and help me wind down when the day is done. Ultra premium CBD gummies from Secret Nature. Crafted with real botanicals, nothing extra, and designed to support your day with clean, purposeful functionality. I want you to try Secret Nature Ultimate Premium CBD gummies. Organic, farm-grown, not made in a lab. You can try Bliss for clear focus and productive flow. That's what I use during the day. And Snoozers to unwind and rest at the end of the day. Consistent, measured CBD per gummy, so there's no guessing. Intentional formulations that feel clean and slot naturally into your routine. Take it from me, I keep it all together during the day with Bliss. And when it's time to relax, sometimes my mind is going 1,000,000 miles an hour from all of the things that I've done during the day and the things that I have to do on the next day. That's when I'll take the Snoozers to unwind. You need to try Secret Nature Ultra Premium Gummies. And here's what I want you to do. You can get 30% off of your first order at secretnature.com with code ZANE. That's secretnature.com, code ZANE. And then let me know how it goes. Again, get 30% off of your first order at secretnature.com with code ZANE. That's secretnature.com, code ZANE. Secret Nature. Hey, it's Eric Zane for an amazing gift site, uncommongoods.com. Handmade artisan creations for you to buy for someone as an amazing gift. I found a storybook DIY kit. I know you've seen these on bookshelves at bookstores where it says you can, quote, open a magical portal on your bookshelf when you build one of these wonderfully detailed 3D scenarios. Went book shopping with Pooh Bear. You know, that's her thing. And she saw one of these. She goes, oh, I would love one of these. Well, it just so happens since I've partnered with Uncommon Goods, they feature these for sale. Plus, thousands of other amazing products that you can check out for that special gift for someone. The holidays are fast approaching. You can do your shopping right from your laptop or desktop or your mobile device. UncommonGoods.com. Uncommon Goods curates products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made right here in the good old US of A. Many are crafted by independent artists and small businesses because they're made in small batches. The best finds can sell out fast. So go there and look around. UncommonGoods.com. You won't believe some of the things that are available to help your shopping experience to make someone very, very happy. UncommonGoods.com has something for everyone, from moms and dads to kids and teens, from book lovers, history buffs, diehard football fans to foodies. You'll find thousands of new gift ideas that you won't find anywhere else. And it's time to save some cash. That's right. Shop early, have fun, just in time for the holidays. Get 15% off your next gift when you go to uncommongoods.com/Zane. That's uncommongoods.com/Zane right now for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommongoods.com/Zane. Uncommon Goods, We're all out of the ordinary. Chicago, go over the Chicago River, and their metal grates is the surface. So if it rains, water goes right through it. And the story was the tour bus went over, and then all of a sudden, as it's going over, it dumped its sewage, which went through the grate just as a boat was going underneath. And there was a bunch of people on the top deck. It was an architecture tour, which I've been on that tour, actually. And then the feces, like Trump's airplane, hit them all. It was a catastrophe. And we had the bus driver on Free Beer and Hot Wings. And I forgot what he said. I think he denied that he had anything to do with it or something like that. The thing that I'm not sure about is I don't know how that was possible because I'm pretty sure that if you want to dump the waste, there's nothing that exists on a vehicle where you can push a button and it just drops it out. As I understand it, I mean, a tour bus is a lot different than the fraud bus, but I think the waste disposal system is fairly universal, where you put the hose up to the thing, and then there's these valves that you pull one and then pull the other, and then there's a third one you have to pull too. It's a series of steps, and it's not until all of those are pulled that anything will come out of the unit. So I often wondered, how could that have been in the first place? Because that's a person has to be there to do that. Unless they stopped the vehicle, someone got out and dumped the full thing over. And that has never been part of the story, that there was a person outside of the vehicle dumping the poo-poo bus. Let's see. Branjo says, was on the Dave Matthews poo-poo boat mishap. So this woman had the poop land on her. She didn't have a lot of detail, just that she had to get a hepatitis shot. Apparently it came up during a staff lunch at a restaurant, and Dave Matthews came on. And some of the people at the table asked her if she was okay or if they needed to ask the restaurant to change the channel. I'll ask her if she got anything from the Dave Matthews Band or anything, like tickets or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I still am. It's a mystery how that all happened in the first place. I have no idea. All right. So now with this story that just popped this morning, that is the big story being talked about, and everybody's kind of focusing on it right now. Every time you turn around for the next 24 hours, you're going to see this. But if you're the Portland Trailblazers, how about this? You just start your basketball season. I know the Pistons opened up last night. I'm sure Portland has or is about to. And the very first game, your coach gets arrested in a raid. Oh, my God. And it's Chauncy Billups. I mean, this guy was beloved in Detroit. Nick says maybe someone forgot to shut the valves, and then someone took a dump in it. Boat just got one dump's worth. Yeah, it's weird though, because those buses, in particular, the waste area, you have to open up one of those doors on the bottom, and there you'll see all sorts of apparatus, including the big pipe that you hook the hose up to. And it's got a closed bottom. So even if the shit were to come fly, if all that is true, what you just said, the cap is off, all those three valves are open, someone flushes, it's going to go into the compartment. And the top layer of that boat was covered. So it was like 100 gallons of sewage. Becca Shea says, reminds me of the movie RV. Yes, that scene from RV when it comes flying out and the opening is facing you. It's not facing down. So I question. I mean, I'm not. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. I know it happened, but my question is, what really happened there? Because if they're suggesting that they just went over the grate and pushed a button and it dumped, I think that's fucking weird. Unless if a bus is so different that you can just push a button and it goes, it vanishes. But I don't think that's true. Bread Bull Brain Chris. Maybe Dave Matthews had a special modified bus to dump on command because he loves dropping bombs. I guess it's possible. Tyler says there needs to be a Netflix documentary about this. Right. That would be awesome. I mean, everything gets a documentary these days. I think that's a great idea for one. Just call it the poo-poo bus. What happened? So in order to make this happen, a producer would have to get names and faces of people that got the face full of heat when they looked up. Don't look up at the street. You'll get a face full of heat. The poo-poo bus. That was the parody song we played on the show. And then you could talk to other eyewitnesses. You could talk to people that were on the bus. You could talk to the bus driver. You could do the old reach out to the Dave Matthews Band. Did not respond to our request for comment. All right. That would definitely be a interesting Netflix documentary. Something we talked about on yesterday's Big Fraud Wednesday, Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, is the idea of cancel con. I forgot how we got on the topic. Doesn't matter. We talked about a convention similar to like Comic-Con or anything con. There's always something con. Cancel con features only people who have done something that has caused them to get canceled. It could be just bad behavior. Could be more than that. Could be criminal behavior. You could have an entire group of people at your cancel con event. The ones that are incarcerated, you could pay them to be like zoomed in on a computer screen and just have your table set up there right next to Kevin Spacey or right next to Bill Cosby. Harvey Weinstein could be on it. We came up with Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Jared from Subway. I think he's actually getting out in a reasonably short amount of time. Papa John. Hulk Hogan can't make it. Dog the Bounty Hunter. We're not sure about Dog. Question mark by his name. Question mark by Aziz Ansari. Danny Masterson. Is he in prison right now? Matt Lauer is a big one. Badger says John Franco. Is that Papa John? If you have any names for CancelCon, Danny is actually in prison. And we talked about the idea of me reaching out to agents for these wayward stars and former celebrities and getting them, and playing back the conversations of me explaining to these people what CancelCon is. Everyone is going to turn it down. No one will actually be there. Mel Gibson. I don't know if he qualifies as being canceled, but we can definitely look him up, add him to the list. But I don't know if he's on it. I mean, think Jared Fogle. All right, that's the type of canceling we need. Or Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein. Those people from the Me Too movement. You remember every other day you turned around, there was somebody being canceled. And I don't know if they all stuck. Like even Marilyn Manson. There were some terrible things that were said about him. But now he's back. Luke says that has a great one. Producer Joe for Cancel Con. Now, I don't know why you say that, because everybody knows that Joe retired. At the time, he was fed up with Chicago gangs. And he definitely didn't abuse many, many women, like physically assault them. There's no way that actually happened, right? He just decided he wanted to retire. Aram threw out Louis C.K. We did think about Louis C.K. last night, but he's already back. He's not canceled. He was canceled for a period of time, but he paid his price, and he's still selling out shows. So that's definitely not canceling. Luke says, don't worry, we can do early retirement con, Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders, and Joe. Tophus says, Joe definitely did not abuse women, and he definitely didn't scam the government out of COVID money. Another radio suggestion, John Ballio. Yeah, he's in the criminal wing of Cancel Con, along with Harvey Weinstein and Jared. He's a local radio guy that sinister career as a pedophile. Okay, so that's two big ideas. One from Tyler, one from me. One is Netflix documentary on Poo Poo Bus. And then Cancel Con. Juicy Smollett or Jussie Smollett. That's a good one. He hasn't worked in forever. Armie Hammer. I don't know a lot about Armie Hammer, but I'm pretty sure I hear some crazy shit about him. That he, in fact, ended up getting canceled. Did I say Ellen DeGeneres? There was another good suggestion for Ellen DeGeneres on Cancel Con. Okay, if you're enjoying this show on any of the platforms that is not Twitch, I'm going to kick you out. If you want the rest of the show, it's available on Twitch, my free platform, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. My podcasting is done on two platforms, Twitch, and then later on in the day, I'll do the Patreon shows. That's where we did the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast yesterday, and who are these free beers? I just posted a free clip for you to check out. So there you go. So that's your homework assignment. If you're not on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live and follow the page. Meanwhile, if you want to do that, you can also subscribe to the channel, and you can get it with no commercial interruption. Okay, so I'm going to kick these folks out that are on YouTube, Facebook, and Kick. Thank you so much for being here. You can email me, eric@ericzaneshow.com. If you have anything you want to write in about, love to hear from people. Please do that. Of course, Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. If you've got a tree that's a problem in your house in West Michigan or out on the outside of your house, not in your house, oh boy, reach out to Kuiper Tree Care, 616-828-8225. 616-828-8225. James Franco. Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a while. Jeffrey Jones. That was the guy in Ferris Bueller, I think. Is he dead? Michael Proctor. I don't know who that is. But that doesn't mean we don't add them, because you might have a small table with just kind of like lesser known people at CancelCon. All right. Don Vito. I don't know who that is either. We have to do a complete list of canceled people for CancelCon. Okay. There's a plane that went down. This one is this is rough. Paramillo Airport, Venezuela. The pilot was attempting to impress people with a low altitude turn. And I guess that's a difficult maneuver when you're just taking off. And it's the motor slowed down too much. So the stupid thing stalled. It's a bad idea. This is how that unfolded. Okay, it's not taking off. It's just flying low, and then it's going to turn. You asshole. Shit the bed. I legitimately ask, though, are they okay? I just realized that I played that with sound but no video. That's not great. All right, let's back up. Wow. There's no way anybody survives that, right? Tofus says they're all dead. No way anybody walks away from that. Megan says, my dad and his flight instructor were practicing stalls while flying one day. Brian was not aware and thought they were going to die. They did not, and it was all under control. So they didn't tell him they were doing that? Luke says, did you see that story where a flight in the U.S. emergency landed because they had no communication to the stewardess and stewardesses, and they were slamming on the door? So, yeah, the thing wasn't working, like the, hey, you there? Talk to me. So that the stewardess was just knocking on it. Hey, we got to talk to you. Open the door. And the pilots thought it was being, like, hijacked. So they said, fuck you. We're going to put her down. And they turned around and went back to the airport. They opened up the door, and then there's a stewardess that go, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, we thought we were being hijacked. No, you asshole. The phone's not working. My God, how could that possibly be? What an idiot. All right. Becca Shea says, I heard about that. That's what they thought. They were being hijacked. Megan says he may not have been paying attention. Who knows about Brian? You know, that's the thing. I can totally picture that. Brian, like, yeah, hey, Brian, don't be alarmed. We're going to do turns, and we're going to stall the plane. And he's looking at fantasy football or something. I can picture that. Absolutely. Okay. I am 100% lean on the show today, so I'm not going to end it, but I am going to do something very different. I am going to come back in just a little bit and come up with a couple more things to talk about, because all of my time was consumed in following this ridiculous story about Chauncy Billups getting arrested. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause this, actually almost similar to like when there is a staff meeting at the radio station. I'm going to do that, and I will come back with a little bit more, and hopefully you'll get the notification on Twitch. I don't know why it doesn't always tell you that I'm going live, but I will be back with more free podcasts. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.